Second area of management responsibility is finance. So we're looking at 5, and our second area of responsibility is this one here for finance. What is finance responsible for? Well, they plan and prepare the internal financial information, which is then used to guide the financial decision making of the business. That's a very fancy way of saying they crunch the numbers to help the business make decisions about what it can do, what it can't do, what it should sell, what it shouldn't sell, etc. They prepare budgets to try and predict and plan for the future. So if you are doing VCE accounting, that's a whole sack on its own where we do budgeting. Yeah, that's really important, being able to plan for the future, but also have the finances available to meet the needs of the business. And probably most importantly, they maintain the financial records of the business so it can record all its revenues and sales and expenses, and therefore it can calculate its net profit. They also collect cash from the people that owe the business money, which we call debtors. And not only that, they do the opposite. They pay cash to the firm's creditors, which we call suppliers, and their employees, which is really important. These people need to get paid. Who's responsible for making sure they get paid on time and the right amount? Well, that's finance. They also monitor the cash balance of the business. Does it have enough money to operate, etc.? And probably the most important thing is it prepares the financial reports of the business. So the balance sheet, the profit and loss statement, which we also call the income statement. In accounting, we do another one called the cash flow statement. These are what's really important. They help us, figure out, is the business doing well and where it can improve in the future. So the questions, I guess, where finance is basically asking is, did we make a profit? Are sales high enough? How can we lower costs? Do we expect to make a profit next year? How can we improve profit next year? Who owes us money and when? Who do we owe money to and when? And will we have enough cash in the future? So that's what finance is responsible for. What we need to do is then link that back to the objectives that we have as a business. We've got these 5 objectives here. How does finance help lead to these? And this is really hard to talk about. How could you link finance and what it does to these? Well, first of all, it actually does help lower the cost of production. Why? Because finance is the one that they figure out how much things cost. They can therefore, if they figure out how much things cost, they can figure out ways those costs can be reduced. Now, if you lower costs, you're going to increase your profit, increase market share, and you're going to meet your shareholder expectations. What else do? Well, they actually determine their profit. They determine their profit accurately, so therefore the business can give dividends to its shareholders. We looked at that as a big shareholder expectation to get dividends. So not only does it help us make a profit, it calculates it, but it helps meet shareholder needs for dividends. I think this is probably the most important one. Finance, we do the numbers. Where does our profit come from? Which products are the most popular? Which ones sell well? Which ones can we charge more for? Which ones don't sell and we need to charge less for? It's going to help us identify the popular products that we have, and therefore it's going to help us make a profit, increase our market share, and meet shareholder expectations. Lastly, we could also argue it helps us sort of give donations. What do we mean by that? Well, we need to figure out how much we can donate and contribute to society, but also you can claim that back on your taxes, which is really important for businesses, and that's going to help the business fulfill this need, fulfill a social need. So with finance, it's probably very easy to link it to these 4 financial objectives, but we also have a link here. It can help contribute to fulfilling a social need too.